Hello YouTubers and welcome to another Doctor Who DVD review. This time I shall be taking a look at The Sunmakers, which is a Tom Baker story, and this was from his 4th season, which was season 15. So as always with these DVD reviews, first off we shall be taking a look at the cover, and I must say this is actually one of my favourite covers in the DVD range. It's really nicely detailed. You've got all of these suns in the background, you've got a nice pose for the 4th Doctor, and then you've got this guy who is pretty much the main villain for this story. This story has been rated as a U, and at the bottom there we've got a red strip that says the Tom Baker years 1974 to 81, which we all know by this time. And having a look at the side, all of the suns and all that continues to come onto the spine, and it does stand out on the shelf with all the rest of the Doctor Who DVDs. And at the back there, again, we've got some pictures from the story. We've got an image of K9 and some other stuff that's going on, particularly this guy wearing this very interesting costume. This is also important to note that this is actually the second story to feature K9, as he was introduced in The Invisible Enemy. He didn't appear in Image of the Fendal, but here he's back and he's doing what he does best, and like I said, there he is shooting his laser. But anyway, this story was written by none other than Robert Holmes. The plot of this story goes that the TARDIS, along with the Doctor, Leela and K9, arrives on Pluto in a distant future. The time travellers discover the planet has a breathable atmosphere and enjoys heat from 6 small suns, but the humans who live there are taxed and exploited heavily for the privilege. When Leela is captured and sentenced to death, the Doctor must save his companion, as well as stopping the ruthless company before it is too late. And the special features of this story, again, you might be able to tell, you might not, but you can see like all the suns in the background of this as well, which I think is quite a nice touch. Commentary is by Tom Baker, which is a rarity with these DVDs, but it's always nice to hear his thoughts on these stories after all these years. We've also got commentary by Louise Jameson, who is as lovely as always. Michael Keating in Goundry sounds like Michael Keaton, who played Batman, but it's Keating, not Keaton. And director Pennant Roberts, running from the Taxman, a retrospective look at the making of the story and the science behind it, with Louise Jameson, Michael Keating, Pennant Roberts, writer and historian Dominic Sambrook, and astronomer Marek Kukula. And we have outtakes for this story, The Doctor's Composer, Part 2, the concluding part of our look at the career of prolific composer Dudley Simpson, who of course sadly passed away last year, and that covers his work on the show in the 1970s. We have a trailer, production information, subtitles, photo gallery, a coming soon trailer, Radio Times listings, and a digitally remastered picture and sound quality. The story was originally broadcast on the Beeb between the 26th of November and 17th of December 1977, the same year as when Star Wars first came out. This was produced by Graham Williams, directed by Pennant Roberts. Incidental music, of course, was by Dudley Simpson, and the sleeve text is by Murray Lang, and the cover is by Lee Binding, and the actual runtime for this is 100 minutes. It is 4 episodes long, and here is the inside leaflet, and here is the nice disc. Again, you have all those nice suns in the background. It's a really epic cover. It's really nice artwork here by Lee Binding. So I have to give the presentation of the cover, if you had to give it a score, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's not something I usually do, but for this, I will definitely say that this is one of my favourite covers from the entire range of DVDs. I mean, they've done hundreds of these, but this is a particular standout for me. As for the story, not so much. The Sunmakers is a story which I'm not particularly fond of, to be honest. I can understand like all the subtexts of what was going on with this, like of the taxman and all of that. It was a sign of the times of when this story came out, and I've got to applaud them for that. But personally, for me, it is definitely one of Robert Holmes's weakest stories, I find. It's just something that I don't really find that engaging, to be honest, and that is coming from someone who's done history from around this era as well. I learnt a bit about the 1970s and about what went on with trade unions and strikes and all of that, and it carried on into the 80s and the Thatcher governments and all of that. And you know, it was a very bad time if you was living in Britain. But I'm not going to get all political in this review. It's just something about the story I don't really enjoy, and the villain for this, I find him really weird. Not one of my favourite villains either. I just don't know what it is. I think that Tom Baker, as always, he gives off a tremendous performance, as does Louise Jameson. By now, she is settled well into the role of Leela. And I think K9 as well. I think he's alright in this story, and this is coming from someone who isn't really a big fan of K9. As for one of those supporting characters who wears that funny hat, yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the costumes in this. Nah, it just didn't work for me. So, as a story, it's not one that I would rush to revisit anytime soon. Next time I'll watch this, or probably if I'm doing a marathon of all of these stories, like all the Tom Baker era, or whatever marathon I plan on doing sometime. But the special features I think are really good. I really like the special feature about Dudley Simpson, and you know, I do like everything about the making of the story. But the story itself, it's not one to be remembered. So yeah, that is my DVD review, guys. This was probably one of the last ones I picked up from the Tom Baker era to complete his old era on the shelf. And yeah, I don't regret this being one of the last ones, to be honest with you. It's not a guilty pleasure of mine. It's not high up in my rankings, I'll be completely honest with you. I'd be lying if I said, oh yeah, buy this, because nah, it's not one that I would rush out to buy on Amazon or in stores, if you like that, depending on what your preference is. So yeah, that's it. That is my review, guys, of the DVD release of The Sunmakers. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, JC Productions. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.